What's going on, family? This is the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening, and it's been a minute. Well, actually, it hasn't, because to you guys, I'm dropping videos every single day, but I batch record. So, like, once or twice a week, I get together and bang out like 10 to 20 videos. So, for me, it's been quite a few days since I've sat down and recorded, but it is a lovely evening here in Arizona, and I am excited to get on yet another episode. Appreciate all of the followers and subscribers and people interacting in the conversation of fragrance on this channel. I'm realizing really quickly that by the time you guys hear certain episodes, I might say something dumb like, oh, we're finally at 50 subscribers when we're really at 100 by the time the episode actually hits you. I wasn't expecting the channel to grow as fast as it's been growing. Like I said, I think we've hit like 15,000 to 20,000 viewership already, and we're about to crack 100 subscribers. So it's really been incredible. I'm constantly amazed why anyone would like to come across this channel and subscribe and continue to be a guest here and ingest the content that I have around fragrance. I really do have a passion for fragrance. I feel like my perspective on it is a little more, it's plain and simple for the common man, but it's complex ideas made simple, so that you guys can ultimately get out of the door of your house and cop fragrances, get your nose out there, learn about new resources. That's what the internet age is really about. It's about realizing that there is so much at your fingertips that you can explore. And now with the affordability of it, from the poor man all the way to the rich man being able to engage in fragrance in a quality manner, it's just a beautiful day to be involved in the fragrance community. Now, let's get to business, guys. You know I'm long-winded. It's how it happens. But we're going to talk about a fragrance today that, I've sit and look at my collection, and I think to myself, man, what fragrance should I review? And I don't know why, but I've really been avoiding kind of the go-to common fragrances that you guys are very familiar with, because I feel like it'll be boring doing a review of that. But the reality is I have to do them at some point, and that time is going to be this week. So we're going to be talking about an inspired fragrance, and it is probably in the top 5 most mentioned fragrances in the inspired world. And you're going to need a drink, some popcorn, and your seatbelts on, because we're going for a ride. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble, where we are uploading one video long form and one YouTube short every single day until we finish my collection, and then we're going to move on to a lot of cool topics that honestly I use a software to kind of catalog the progress of my channel, as well as look at all of the topics that people are interested in, as well as document my own topics that I'm excited to share with you guys that I can't get to yet, because right now I'm doing a singular review of every single fragrance in my 150 plus fragrance collection. And so I'm excited about the future episodes after we get through all of these, but I digress. Today we're going to talk about a fragrance that is very much inspired by a classic fragrance by Initio Parfums, and that's Oud for Greatness. We are not talking about Oud for Greatness today very much. We are talking about a fragrance that's very much inspired by it. This is from the house of Lattafa, and this fragrance is called Oud for Glory. Now, I have to be very careful, guys, in this day and age. By the way, I'm constantly amazed at the design of this bottle. It's not an original design, wink wink, as you guys are, I'm sure, familiar, but just the cleanliness. You kind of have this like almost rubber pressure, smooth rubbery pressured wrapped glass. So it kind of feels more like a thin rubber coat was wrapped around the glass. You've got this kind of great Gatsby grandiose plating here that's gold and black. The cap is very like smooth when you take it off. It's got this gold plating at the top. I mean, when you talk about fragrances that sit in your collection, this sucker is nice. And honestly, this fragrance makes me wish that I lived in cold climate, because in Arizona we might get 2 3 months out of the year where it is even partially cold. You know, real cold mornings when that season comes around, slight, kind of brisk days, but we're mostly sitting north of 80 90 degrees most of the year. Um, so for that reason, I can't rock this fragrance as much, but it's probably one of the few more Middle Eastern inspired fragrances that I really respect. I'm not a big Middle Eastern fragrance guy, even though a lot of these fragrances come from Middle Eastern houses. You know what I mean when I say Middle Eastern fragrances. We're talking ouds, we're talking spices. There's certain things in that culture that, as far as ingredients that are used in certain processes, where you can just smell a Middle Eastern fragrance a mile away. This one is done in such a beautiful way where I feel it marries kind of the Western and Middle Eastern cultures in terms of quality, presentation, and performance. And like I said, I just wish I lived in cold weather to really rock and respect this. This is a beast mode fragrance. This is massive sillage. This does not creep into a room. This jumps into a room. So as far as beast mode fragrances, I would put this 9 at the very least. For my own personal recognition, I would call it a 10 out of 10 beast mode fragrance. You can smell it as soon as you pull the cap off. You spray it one time in your room and leave. It'll stay there for a day and a half just off one spray. You put more than 4 sprays of this on your body, you better be planning on going on a camping trip or something to have enough air and waft going through your body to dilute that fragrance down. This fragrance is very pleasing. I think it's mass appealing. I do feel the wear on it is somewhat circumstantial, but the circumstances to which you would rock this are very versatile. Um, there's a lot of factors that goes into if you would like a fragrance like this. So before I will put this on a test strip very sparingly, because like I said, 1 spray will fill a room. Not gonna put it on skin. We're not gonna do that tonight, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah, just a beautiful fragrance. But I'm not really gonna break it down quite yet. I want to just jump straight to the chart here, and then I'll tell you my initial thoughts on the smell, because you kind of have to. If you're not familiar with oud fragrances, you really kind of need to observe this before I start describing what I'm smelling. Now, this is Oud for Glory, the inspired fragrance that we are talking about from the House of Lattafa. And the top notes is saffron, nutmeg, lavender. Heart, we have agarwood, oud, and patchouli. And then in the base, we have a repetition of agarwood, oud, patchouli, and musk. Now, if we look at the inspired fragrance of Oud for Greatness from Initio Parfums, and just look at these bottles, guys. I mean, you can't make this up. We got to give credit where credit's due, but man, I still think that Oud for Glory, the inspired fragrance, the bottle is better. Even though at a distance, if you guys are watching this YouTube video right now, you'd be like, these bottles are the exact same. They're not. This one is much more hefty. The design is cooler to me. The only thing similar with these fragrances is the color palette and the kind of aesthetic of what it's going for. But again, Oud for Greatness, same top notes. The mid notes just have the agarwood, and the patchouli gets stuck down in the base now with the musk. So the base is just carrying the patchouli and musk, and the heart is with the agarwood. So in this fragrance, you're getting the preservation of oud staying into the base, and you're also getting the patchouli and musk. So in one sense, there's more oud in this inspired fragrance, which I think contributes to its longevity, power, and projection. Now, I believe Oud for Greatness is somewhat beast mode, but I don't think it beats this. I think this is uber beast mode, uber oud. And out of a lot of oud fragrances, oud is one of those notes where it can smell like all kind of things. I'm not even going to go into the palette profile because the extraction and harvest of the oud, the type of oud, the climate, so many things affect what the profile is going to be. Um, some would say animalic. There's various different routes it can go. Um, I refer to it as kind of this stink fragrance, but that kind of rubs people the wrong way. Agarwood oud, it's in the woods and mosses family. I'll just read this to you guys. A pathological secretion of the Aquilaria tree, a rich, musty, woody, nutty scent that is highly prized in the Middle East. In commercial fumery, it is safe to say all oud is a recreated synthetic note. Nothing about this fragrance smells synthetic, let me just say that. But the bottom line for you guys to know is just that these fragrances are the same top, mid, and base fragrances, with the exception that the oud stays it not only in the heart but in the base of this fragrance. Now, what do I smell? Because most of you guys, if you're in your beginning mid area, most of you guys haven't put your nose to saffron, haven't put your nose to agarwood, oud, you know, patchouli musk maybe, but this oud, let me just try and wrap your nose around it mentally. This fragrance is sweet in a very musty way. Like picture when I say must, right? Picture steam. You're in a steam room, right? And a guy just opened, he was in the steam room or the sauna and there's just hot steam water in there filling up the room, right? And you're walking by it cuz you're in the gym bathroom or whatever, and a guy walks out and it just lets through a heap of this must. Now, assuming the facility is clean, that must will just kind of be a very weighty water thickness that comes out. It shouldn't smell funky, but it definitely smells. That's what I mean when I say must. I don't mean funky, dirty, disgusting. I just mean almost that thick, steamy, weighty mist of aroma. And that is sitting behind sweetness. I wish I could describe saffron for you guys a little bit better, but here's what I want to describe oud for greatness, or oud for glory to the common man without using big words or saying saffron or whatever, assuming you guys can't smell it. This is clean, musty, musty and musky, which musk kind of falls through a similar category. Watch when I read this musk note to you guys. So musk is a odor profile, a wide variety of sources for musk smelling materials, including synthetic musks, natural, mainly obtained from plants, since deer musk is forbidden to obtain and sell. Musk is a secretion inside an internal pouch on the abdomen of a male deer. In order to get it, you have to kill the deer. So animalic is how you get musk. And so we've got this kind of somewhat musky animalicness, but it's very clean. It's not funky at all. It's not displeasing. We have must, which is kind of this heavy, kind of musty, steamy water background of weight, sitting behind this woody, sweet oud. Yeah. Yep. That feels good to me. So this is the cleanest form of a kind of musty, animalic musk. Clean though, so clean, almost like new car smell, like brand new car smell. If you guys know that like scent tree where you put it in the car and the car kind of just smells like you're in like a NASA spaceship for half a second. Clean, super clean, formalized musk that's very pleasantly sweet, floral slightly, and woody oud. Not woody oud, the Tom Ford clone, but just this woodiness to the oud. This is very, I don't want to call it grown man, guys, because it's, I don't know what makes me call it grown man, like because it's Middle Eastern inspired, because it's got kind of a spices vibe to it, because it's musky, because it's oody. This is why I feel like it's an older fragrance. Again, my only basis for like where my head's randomly going right now is like, I know young people prefer sweet, citrus, aquatic, almost no florals type vibes. Woods. So wood, citrusy, fruity, sweet, aquatic, those type of things. Those are very safe for the young crowd. This is none of that. This is spice. This is animalic musk. This is woody oud. And this is florals and nutmeg for the sweetness. But man, let me tell you, you smell rich. You smell somewhat mysterious, mostly slightly playfully formal with mystery. I would call this slightly holiday spicy in terms of sweet, but it's not spicy. It's the sweetness you would smell from that kind of potpourri, cinnamon, holiday type vibe. That's the kind of sweetness, but it's more in the clean sweet direction of that. You'll just get a hint of kind of a holiday presence from it, sitting on that oud, musky, patchouli vibe. All right, let me shut up. This fragrance is $25, 100 ml. If you have never smelt a profile in the arena of this fragrance, I highly recommend you don't even worry about getting the sample of this, guys. This is blind buy worthy whether you like it or not, because even if you don't use it, somebody else will. Somebody will always buy this from you. This fragrance is inspired by one of the most classic fragrances out there, one of the most prized possessions of all time in the fragrance community, from the House of Initio. It looks amazing. It looks amazing in your collection, and the sample will probably cost you, $10 after shipping, which costs half the price of the dang bottle. Buy the bottle, get your nose on it. I wish I could say go to Sephora or something like that, but you can't test this out in your local store. They're not going to have it. Maybe if you have a Neiman Marcus, you can smell it, but at that rate, it's like this fragrance is so shockingly close to the Initio fragrance, it's unnecessary. Only if you're a really rich connoisseur, you got your paper right, you want the finer things in life, would you ever upgrade to oud for greatness. Oud for glory does the job. It doesn't smell synthetic. It's got the exact same note profile. It's very true to form. It smells natural, and it is 1-to-1 to me. Blind buy worthy whether you like it or not, because you can always sell it. It looks amazing, and it's only $25. These days on the TikTok shop, you could get it for like 15 to $20. Okay, real quick. We're approaching the 20-minute mark, so let me just tell you some quick takeaways. $25 on Amazon, 100 ml. You could probably get it for 20 or less on TikTok shop or Fragrance Buy. Amazing quality, both on the fragrance and the bottle. Age, I would put this as a 25 and up category. It's one of the best Middle Eastern inspired fragrances that I think Americans can appreciate, or let's just say non-Middle Eastern folk can appreciate heavily, because it smells somewhat Middle Eastern, but has like a very fresh, modern, almost Western take on it. It seems on this note profile specifically, it's one of the most desirable smells of oud I've come across that still maintains its kind of natural animalic vibe while still being highly masculine, highly fresh, and still having that sweet spice component to it. Again, 25 and up, and I say that sparingly. If you're a part of the culture of these notes that are in this fragrance, It's an ageless fragrance to an extent, but I will say that this has quite a bit of masculinity to it. Um, but 25 and up, because it does have somewhat of an airy crispness to it, even though it is a beast mode fragrance. It's pleasant on the nose. It's not both beast mode and pungent. Like, it's almost like a medium light aroma with just a heavy presence, if that makes any sense at all. Seasons, absolutely cold weather fragrance. Again, in Arizona, I have to find excuses to wear this. And even if it's been a long time and I haven't been able to grab this bottle, I'll spray it in my room. It kind of is down the line of like an incense vibe, like Nag Champa, for all my guys who have ever been either smokers or incense lighters. If you've ever smelled Nag Champa, it has somewhat of that essence in here, but this is much cleaner, much more sophisticated, much more masculine. Don't take that the wrong way. It's just got a very pleasant, almost incensey spice vibe to it. So I love to just kind of spray one spray in my room. It'll take care of the whole room. It's just pleasant to smell. Um, and Yeah, it's just an incredible fragrance. Buy this fragrance for sure, guys. Blind Buy worthy, certified, 1-to-1 in terms of the inspired by. And it's going to be one of the more unique note profiles in your entire collection, without question. Listen to me, guys. This kills Assad. Absolutely annihilates Assad to me. When you go down that Middle Eastern somewhat spice vibe. Now, again, Assad is supposed to be cloning Dior Sauvage Elixir, but to me, it leans Middle Eastern in its spicy vanilla route and comes off like a Middle Eastern fragrance to me. No, I don't need to wait for the fragrance to macerate to know that. I've smelled Latafa in many stages of its development. This, to me, is one of the only fragrances that goes down that Middle Eastern vibe as a clone and still feels Western and like something that we would find in a Sephora that's made by a group of white guys or Americans. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better terms. Anyways, guys, we've hit the 22-minute mark. I'm not going to take any more of your time. Let me know if you have this and your thoughts. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of conversation around this because there are varying opinions, mostly all positive and good about this fragrance. But again, this is just an OG fragrance, and people appeal to it for so many different reasons. Again, seasons, cold weather, or indoors with cooler temperatures. Don't touch a fragrance like this in the heat. You will be, you will be sadly mistaken trying that. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Scent Bubble. If you're new here, please stick around. You can catch a new video from me every single day. And my camera froze, but that's totally fine. Listen, guys, I want to say one more thing. I'm long-winded. I know it. I'm going to stop apologizing about it after not too long here. But listen, guys, a lot of people sometimes might comment on my videos and say that my reviews can be a lot shorter. Like, realistically, I could have did this in 10 minutes. But I like to over-talk because I feel like any little bit of value extra you could get from the extra 5 to 10 minutes that I blab about this fragrance will drive home confidence in your choosing to not purchase or choosing to purchase a fragrance like this. And so I make my videos almost for the guy who's driving to work or in the car. And this is like, my videos are like podcasts, really, and I feel like in that type of vein, listening to a 5 to 10 minute episode is kind of weak. It's almost like, at that point, it's kind of consumerism where it's like, you're coming to me to get the latest and greatest deals and stuff. Like, there's so many other channels that do that. This is more testimonial to my fragrance journey and appreciating fragrance. And for that, I'm going to be longer winded because I really care about the fragrance. And things just jump into my mind as I'm freestyling these videos. These are scriptless videos. And by the way, if you guys don't know, please check out my video on how to get some smoking deals on TikTok. TikTok is going absolutely berserk right now and is becoming my new favorite platform to purchase fragrances. But again, this is from the house of Latafa. This is Bade'e Al Oud's Oud for Glory. And this is Blind Buy worthy, and you should cop that. Have a blessed night, guys. I'll talk to you soon.